Award-winning author Hilary Mantel has said she's embarrassed to live in Britain following the decision by a majority of people in this country to leave the European Union. Although she loves her life in the West Country, I'm sure she's got a nice place, she's made a few bob, she's thinking of getting an Irish passport so that she can be European again. Strange, isn't it, that such a knowledgeable author, whose expertise lies in vividly recreating episodes of the past, in particular Tudor history, thinks we're not Europeans anymore. It surprises me that I've got to give this history icon a history lesson. We joined the European Union, known then as the EEC, just 48 years ago. But Britain has been a European country since 6000 BC, when melting glaciers raised sea levels enough to create the English Channel. So one fundamental fact has dominated British history, and it's the fact that these islands are at the edge of the European landmass. Ever since there have been British Isles, British politics and economics have always been European, and always will be. Don't take my word for it. Here's what former Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher had to say. She said, "We are inextricably part of Europe. No one will ever be able to take us out of Europe, for Europe is where we are and where we always have been." Now, before Brexiteers panic, the point is a simple one, but it's an important one too. EU membership was not what defined us as being European. So whilst we exited the European Union, which is merely a political organisation and changed the way that we trade with the bloc, we are as European as we ever have been. Potentially more so now we're free. Full disclosure, I think there has been and will be an economic impact from Brexit, because this is a big transition for a huge economy rooted in trade with our continental partners. So there are problems and there may be a medium-term cost, but there are unlimited opportunities too. Hilary Mantel does speak for many. Those not accepting the Brexit result, the largest plebiscite in British history, has become a political movement. Not accepting the result has become an ideology and a religion. Now, I voted Remain in 2016, and therefore I speak with some authority when I say to other Remainers, get over it. It took me 24 hours to accept the Brexit result. In fact, it took less time than that. I accepted the result when the news flashed up on my phone early on the morning of June the 24th. It was a big surprise and a lot to take in, especially as I hadn't had my first cup of tea of the day, which is always absolutely essential. Now, I am a Democrat. I accept every election result, every public vote, because that's how democracy works. Those who claim that the Brexit result was the product of misinformation, fake news, manipulative algorithms, just reflect on the fact that more or less the entirety of the broadcast media, the political establishment and the corporate world were all backing Remain. The real surprise of the referendum result wasn't that the Brexiteers didn't lose, it was that the Remainers didn't win. One can only conclude that a silent majority simply wanted Britain to be an independent, sovereign nation in control of its money, laws and borders, and with the ability to trade freely with the rest of the world. It seems like people didn't enjoy weekly payments going to Brussels and vast swathes of UK legislation being subject to EU approval. A majority of you wanted out, and out we got. But the referendum result has led to a new national pastime for a hardcore ideological rump of Remainers, and it's called Britain bashing. Britain is an iconic country with a long and remarkable history, punching above its weight for centuries and providing a global template for parliamentary democracy, commerce, diversity, tolerance and individual liberty. We in this country are defined by thousands of years of history, not by a 5-decade-long relationship with Brussels that began in 1973. And leaving the EU hasn't made us any less European. It sticks in the craw that Hilary Mantel, who I think is a genius and a fabulous writer, also criticises the monarchy, another part of the Britain-hating narrative peddled by those that love to talk us down. And yet, this same Hilary Mantel, who says that she would breathe more easily in a republic, accepted the award of a damehood from Her Majesty the Queen in 2014. That's breathtaking. Her official title is Dame Commander of the Order of the British Empire, no less. I'm so confused. You don't believe in having a monarchy, but you accept its rather grandiose honours. At least John Lennon had the courage to send his MBE back. Loving your country is okay. And in fact, it's important. Of course, criticise those who govern it and hold their feet to the fire, and speak out when it takes a direction that you don't like, and lobby for political change. But you cannot start demonising or seek to reject the result of any democratic vote. Here's an example. I was no fan of Jeremy Corbyn, but if he'd won the election in December 2019, I'd have got on with it, hoping for the best. I wouldn't have called those who voted for him stupid or threatened to leave the country. You don't get rid of me that easily. Some election results you're going to love and some you're going to hate. But either way, you accept it. Anything less and you have no right to call yourself a Democrat. You're actually just an ideological bully. During the 4.5 years of needless hell that we went through after the referendum result, when so many in the political establishment sought to overturn it, we came that close to effectively destroying our democracy. If that public vote hadn't been honoured, I honestly would have feared for the stability of this country. Mercifully, we had a government that made it happen, which is why we're now in a position to move on and make the best of global Britain. I confidently believe it will be a great success. And if Hilary Mantel, who has been educated, enriched and made a star in this country, hates it so much, she's more than welcome to leave and go and be embarrassed somewhere else. This is GB News.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.